Welcome to the first episode of The Pedophile Huntress, breaking the cover of pedophiles one secret at a time. Do you want to change the life of a pedophile forever? Share their secrets. All of my life, I have been enslaved to the lies of a pedophile. Do you know what the pedophile's greatest weapon is? Their relationships. Today, I suppose we call that grooming, but what they really build in you is relationship. I believed my father loved me. As a little girl, I knew nothing else. My mother, she wasn't as good as building relationship with me, but she was very good at building relationship with her two favorites, and they're still with her today. So relationships are what keep us bound to these pedophiles. As we grow, that's our family. Our family connection that we believe is love is nothing more than the cover for these people who have abused us time and time again in their home. If you think that relationship isn't that strong to break with a pedophile, then why do you think that so many incestuous families stay together? Why do you think that people who've been raped by their father go to Thanksgiving dinner? Why do you think that they have a hard time not calling that pedophile on their birthday? Relationship. Relationship is the strongest thing that they build in you. You give them everything you have. As a matter of fact, a pedophile wants your unconditional love. They don't want your rejection. What gives unconditional love better than a child? Nothing that I can think of, but maybe an animal. And actually, my father had bestiality books. So anything that can give unconditional love is something that pedophiles love to look for. Their being, I believe, is saturated with rejection and hate and no discipline. And the reason I know these things is because I was raised by two of them. And that's exactly who they were. They didn't have discipline. They had discipline to get up and go to work, but they had no discipline to not act on impulses. They had no discipline to act on not exposing their anger. They got to do anything they wanted to do in our home. And that's exactly what they did. But they are so good at relationship. I wrote a book called A Prisoner by No Crime of my own. I was enslaved to these maniacs for all of my life until I left their home at 18. And then what did I do? Because I was a prisoner and had been indoctrinated by the ways of darkness, I picked another abuser. Classic. And what did he do? He made me responsible for him as well. Relationship. But if we really break this down, it's not a relationship that builds us up in any way. It's a one-sided relationship. While you come from homes of incest, you don't really believe that it's a one-sided relationship. But ask yourself this question: if you're breaking the path or you're trying to break the path of least resistance against a pedophile in a home of incest particularly, is to start speaking truths to the lies. What does that relationship bring you other than shame, guilt, diagnosed conditions of mental health issues, right? Addiction. Let's see, what else do those relationships bring? Yeah, I already said shame. I already said guilt. Let's see, what do they bring us? A misguided role of heroin to fix these crazy maniacs. Yeah, I forgot about that one. But wow, I guess I'm hard pressed to think of anything good. Okay, wait. It does make me be associated with a family. Otherwise, wouldn't I be orphaned? Oh yeah, I would be orphaned. So I'm a daughter, I'm a sister, I'm a cousin. Hopefully I'm an aunt. Oh, let's see. What else do these bring? Let me think back in my mind. Yeah, that's powerful. It's really odd, right? When you put it all together. But did I get comfort? Oh, hell no. No comfort. Was I called a truth seeker while I stayed in these families? Oh, absolutely not. I was called a liar. Let's see. Beyond that, was I built up in any way? No, I was always overweight to them. I was ridiculed. My father still stared at my body. My father still wanted to hug me when I went back there. And then he'd talk about going home and jumping my mother's bones. Boy, let's see what else was so good. Well, we did watch movies and we'd make popcorn and sit together. And I'd try not to sit by him because he'd rub my leg, even as an adult. Everything was sexualized. So why did I stay? I stayed for a long time. I stayed so long that actually my children started being hurt by him, molested by him. Let's call it what it is. Because why? Relationship. He had built such a strong and powerful relationship in me that at all costs, we never betrayed him. Oh, we would deny the truth of what we needed to give him what he needed. Relationship. Think about that for a minute and really go over in your mind. If you're listening to me and you come from a home of incest and you're still there having dinner at their table, I have a problem with that. And I'll tell you why. I've lived this both ways. I've lived it in their territory and I've lived it outside of their territory. And I have to tell you, I wouldn't have made it out of their territory alive. My pain was incessant. There was no comfort. Judgment surrounded every move I made if it wasn't incohesive and complicit response to their needs. My needs were never met, ever. Everybody I met, including friends, they never met my needs because I didn't know any different. But that relationship card, oh, that relationship card. In my early 20s, I had a dream. My dad was a diabetic, and in my dream, I saw this great big syringe, huge. It was like exaggerated. And on the side of the syringe were the words, love serum. My father picked up that syringe, brought it close to my arm, and was just about ready to put all of that liquid into my being. And I woke up out of breath, and I knew exactly what the dream meant. There was this false love serum between us, the love card, I come to call it, that I had to play against my father. That was a hard card to play. It's kind of easy to hate him, kind of easy to be angry at him, kind of easy to despise even the way they look. But guess what? That relationship card is still between them. That's still there. When we hate, that keeps us close. I didn't forgive because lack of anger or, why I forgave? I forgave because I didn't want to be in their territory anymore. I had to break that relationship with them, stay out of agreement with them, stay out of alignment. I know a lot of Christians talk about forgiveness, but this is the way that I hear this sappy spirit of religion talk about forgiveness, and I don't like it very much. That spirit of religion would tell me that I have to stay at those tables of the people that took from me as a child the things that can never be replaced on this side of eternity. They would tell me that I need to not only be at those tables, but continue to cut that pie and serve up that pedophile with a beaming smile. Isn't that just what I did all of my childhood? I'm not sure I really want to know a God that tells me this is what relationship looks like in his kingdom. If that's what relationship looks like in his kingdom, there's no difference to me. It looks exactly like the kingdom of darkness that I came from. Yeah, relationship, it's a tough thing. When I stepped away from the spirit of religion, because my father and my home was filled with religious bullshit. But when I stepped away from it, do you know what God taught me? He taught me that my pain mattered. He taught me that actually I had a heartbeat that was outside of my family. He taught me that I had legs that could take me far away to safety. He taught me that I wasn't responsible or accountable for the things that had been done to me. In no way was I complicit with those crimes. You know what else he taught me? He taught me I didn't have to go back if I didn't want to. What a beautiful gift. It was exactly the opposite of what I'd been taught as a child. Everything was about them. Everything was about them. Do you know what God tells me? You see you. Yeah, I matter? You mean I can take my eyes off of these abusers? You mean I don't have to be codependent in these places of darkness? You mean I'm not responsible? You mean I'm a prisoner by a crime I didn't commit? You see, there's a real war going on. And this war is the greatest war that started before any of us hit this planet. And it's the war between good and evil. I want to read this part. John Eldridge, he has a ministry called Wild at Heart, and he's just a phenomenal man. He wrote the book, Jesus, Outlaw Jesus. I just love his work. But listen to his words here. He says, all of this is still unfolding, by the way, right now. As you read these words, the great and terrible clash between the kingdom of God and the kingdom of darkness continues. They are fighting for the human heart. At its core, this ancient struggle comes down to one question: can a kingdom of love prevail? God insists that love never fails. That's in 1 Corinthians 13:8. Satan laughs. The world laughs. Something in us laughs too. It sounds utterly naive. Love never fails. It seems like the most failure-prone thing on earth. When I read those words, you know what it made me think of? Is it so far-fetched? Why do members of incestuous families not leave those families? They believe that love is there. Do you know who they blame? God. They don't see God as any different than the kingdom of darkness, because if they did, they'd run the other way. So I'm going to leave you with this tonight. A pedophile's greatest weapon is their relationship. If you learn the God of the Bible, he'll teach you what relationship really looks like, what love really looks like. We're in a war, but if you're a Christian and you belong to God, the God of the Bible, not Satan's God, that spirit of religion, if you belong to him, he'll walk you away from families of incest. He'll get you in a boat and he'll sail you far away where you're safe, where you're connected to love, where your pain is heard and seen and connected with. And he'll teach you the ways that are far beyond the shores of shame, the oceans of guilt, and the responsibility to a pedophile who hurt you. I'm praying all good things for you. Talk to you next time.